proud members of the Fan First Sports Network.
Tape tells the story.
That tells all of the story. This is just kind of metrics as far as what you might be able to do in your underwear. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
45, 40, 35, 40, he's gonna go! It's time people feel us!
Big Red Junkies.
Day by day, he gets better and better! We get better and better! Team is If we die, we die!
Man, put a child in that. Put him in the aisle.
Bring that trophy back to Lincoln!
Welcome into another episode of the Big Red Junkies. This is Jed. I'm BJ. Matt is absent, therefore the fake beer crack.
he was probably doing that somewhere.
Probably. Who knows? He said he was working. Who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows what that means? No, he's not back in prison.
That we know of, at
It's always a
least.
joke in the comments. Yeah, we
Yes,
don't know
yes,
for sure.
Yes.
We are talking about combine stuff. Are we doing returning production or combine stuff first?
Combine.
Combine stuff first. My bad.
That's what you told me 3 minutes ago.
I did. It's been a very long day. It feels like it's Friday already. It's only Monday evening. For those who missed it, the guys that we had go to the combine minus Tommy Hill were, the guys that actually did something at the combine.
Yeah, they were showing
impressive
out.
as fuck.
Yeah, they're making Corey Campbell look really good right now.
Yeah. I think that when you look at the way that the combine is ran, that's probably the number one person you can point to
Yeah. Oh,
as
gosh,
far as
yes.
what he's doing.
Yeah.
You got to give credit to whoever they're training with, obviously, because they all three of them. I don't know about Tommy Hill, but all the other three guys, they went and did stuff with pro trainers.
Usually they do that, yeah.
But it obviously paid off. Whatever work that they've put in has paid off
Oh,
massively.
my gosh.
Ty Robinson, I think, showed up to the combine like 10 pounds lighter than what he finished the season. And
At least.
it looked.
Usually he was playing at like 305, and they said 288, so.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, man, he looked beastly. The guys, like you can kind of tell when the announcers get a little excited by somebody and they're like, oh yeah, this guy's got a little something extra going on here. And there's been some of those guys that just like they're normal dudes, probably middle of the pack guys that come into the combine and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And Ty Robinson, we've talked about it so many times. He had it down last year because 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It feels like when I say last year, that's the 24 year now.
now.
We're under the 25 year. You're right. It was last year, but 2 years ago when it was kind of the Hutmaker show, he was still coming off injury and now he's had that full season. He really, really shined this year, but everybody was still talking about it as, a 7th, 8th, 9th type guy off the board.
There is an 8 or 9, but I get your point. It's only 7 rounds, but yes.
No. 7th, 8th, 9th guy at his position off the board.
I'm still thinking draft. My bad.
No.
I apologize.
At his position.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he'll be in the 9th round. He's a 9th round guy. 9th round guy. But man, you dove way, way further into the numbers than I got to. Why don't you break it down for us on Ty Robinson?
Well, it was really just kind of a everything that was coming out. What would he ran like Thursday? I think it was.
Yeah, I
And-
think so.
And this system, the relative athletic score that he got was the whole thing goes back to 1987, and out of like 1,800 defensive tackles that they've measured, he would rank 24th in the history of their metric that they use. I mean, he was top 4 or 5 in every single category that they test in.
Do you think that with him being the size that he was at the combine, do you think that the teams are still going to look at him as a full-fledged D tackle, or has he got some opportunity to maybe be an outside guy, especially in a 3-4 system?
So I was on my way here. I was listening to Michael Severe on Unsportsmanlike Conduct, and he's a huge draft nerd. And he said that it was the smartest thing he did to go to be smaller for the combine. By the time his pro day comes around for Nebraska, he can put it on another 10 pounds.
Beef back up and really go
just
to town.
basically do whatever the hell he wants to. Because he already showed out at the combine.
Well, if you're in his position the way he did at the combine, do you even do anything at the pro day?
I mean,
You do interviews,
Yeah.
you talk to guys, but I mean, really?
I obviously I don't know the kid, but he comes across as the guy like, no, I'll do it again. Let's go. Like, oh,
He definitely does come across like that for Nebraska stuff.
Yeah.
Does that come that way
I don't know.
if it's not,
When
hey,
there's
I
like-
really want to fucking play in this bowl game?
yeah. I don't know. But yeah,
If I were him, I don't think I'd show my face again until the
I-
fucking draft.
I don't think I would either.
And I think
but-
I'd buy a ticket to the draft. I think I'd go run the risk that I might get there, get to be called on day one.
I don't know if he got up that far, but he's I think solidified himself as a second day guy.
Yeah.
So
I didn't have any doubt on that headed in. I mean, for me, it was more of a, depending on the need, the team that needed that position the most, the style that they were going to run, he falls up there or down there for a lot of people. It's kind of like that, the same guy we've talked about a couple times since we were going to get a look at and study Boston College a little bit. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but that
crazy
guy's
name.
kind of in the same type of situation.
I learned that name for that week, and then I forgot how to pronounce that name.
It's like cramming for a math test.
Yeah, nope. No, going into the combine, he was more looked at like an end of the third, beginning of the fourth round guy. So I think he solidified a second day pick with what he did at the combine.
Well, only time will tell, right?
Yeah.
There's another guy that kind of showed out and really showed people that maybe you don't have to be so worried about his bionic knees, Thomas Fidone.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all kind of a little bit like, what? When he decided to declare for the draft. And then the steam kind of started to pick up behind the scenes. It was like, oh, well, it's a really weak tight end class.
Mm-hmm.
There is some serious need for a tight end. And then you look at how he performed last week in the combine. It's like, yeah, I was listening to Sean Callahan today. They put out their headline show this morning. And that was one thing they were talking about is, hey, Sean Callahan called it up. He said, I think he's more of a third round guy. He straight up said that. And Simple was like, I don't think so. You know, that's interesting. And they're trying not to say interesting right now. It's kind of funny, but to me, it was like, I'm still that person that's like, it's him and Neyor are in the same boat for me. Why the hell didn't you put it together at Nebraska? Whatever the reason might be, I'm not trying to bag on him anymore. We've said enough about all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the fans are out there wondering, well, Fidone wasn't very good at Nebraska. How the hell does he think he's going to be good in the NFL? Well, maybe Satterfield wasn't also just a bad offensive coordinator. There's always that possibility. Maybe he's a bad tight ends coach too. Who knows? There's also all that animosity that went down, that had to have gone down between the players that should have been the stars or were expected to be the stars going into last season and the guy who was calling the plays for the first 9 games of the year.
Yeah. The one thing that we have to be careful on, and everybody does, it's cool that these guys did what they did at the combine.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it goes down to what you did in games. Like, these scouts not only were at games, but they're watching every game.
Tape tells the story.
That tells all of the story. This is just kind of metrics as far as what you might be able to do in your underwear. So it's like, yeah. I mean, it's
You're not getting hit.
It's great to hear you're not getting chased by somebody or, possibly blindsided, or, maybe get some alligator arms, I say in here, or stuff like that. So,
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying sometimes you can get lost in these numbers, and hell, we see it all the time in the NFL for the draft. How many years did Al Davis and the Raiders just basically want to draft the fastest guy at the combine?
Well, shit.
And then they couldn't play at all.
It's been working out for the Chiefs.
I mean, yeah.
They've been doing that for like the last 6 or 7 years.
Well, but again, the other problem is the Raiders would do it and draft the fastest guy, but then they wouldn't get a guy to throw him the ball.
That's fair.
The Chiefs have a guy to throw him the ball.
That's very fair.
They wasted all of that speed and didn't get the guy to give him the ball.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we can get lost in these numbers at times, and it's great, but
I think it's cool that they showed out. I think it looks good on Corey Campbell. It looks good on the strength and conditioning program. It looks really good on the competitive toughness of our program and the guys we're putting out that have the ability to potentially play at the next level.
Yep. And who knows what, we got a bunch of guys that could be undrafted free agents guys, like the John Bullocks and obviously the Nash Hutmakers. they're going to be doing what they want to do at the pro day whenever that comes up. You said 2 weeks or something like that.
I want to say I heard March 24th, something like that.
But we have other guys that can, maybe do some stuff. Jamal Banks, another wide receiver, big body guy, obviously. But, who knows?
March 25th, my bad.
Okay. If these 3 guys specifically were able to do what they did, I look forward to the numbers that come out when the Nebraska's pro day comes around.
Yeah. Well, when you look at the improvement of each of those players, Neyor is an outlier, obviously, because he wasn't here prior to last season. But you look at where Fidone was with his injuries and coming off of, what did he have? 15 ACL tears, something like that. I've torched the guy a lot on this show. We've all had some say about what we think he's done. But at the same time, like, as a fan, just as a straight up fan, not on a podcast, not on anything, it's frustrating to me to see and hear all the talk and the undulation or the congratulation, I guess I would say undulation. That's wrong word. But the congratulation of, hey, you did so great at this combine. You're obviously you're shooting up the boards, blah, blah, whatever. It's like, okay, but where was it last year?
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. At the same time, it's still really, really, no matter how you feel about the guys, it's a really good look if Fidone goes 3rd and Neyor goes, in the 6th or 7th round.
Mm-hmm.
We wind up getting those guys drafted, regardless of how we feel about them as players in Nebraska. That's a good look for the program in general. You need to be able to show that you can put guys in the NFL. Matt Rule taking a program that had 1 or none the last 2 seasons, putting 4 in this year, putting potentially 5 in. There's still some people out there that think Nash is a fringe 7th round guy. If somebody takes a flyer on him just because he's a big body and they might see something. There might be an absolutely crazy person that, Bill Belichick's not in the NFL anymore, so I can't see that happening. But it would be like a Belichick style move to say, nope, saw this guy in the middle of nowhere and, pull him up.
That random Idaho offensive lineman that they took, or wherever he went to school.
The guard that did not pan out.
Yeah.
I think he got cut this year, actually. The last 5 years of the Patriots drafting was tough under Bill, but we'll see what he does at North Carolina.
Yep.
Moving forward. Do you have anything else on these numbers?
Not really. It was nothing really as far as the combine as a whole, nothing really like huge. You always hear the people that there was one guy in brain farting on. He said that he was going to break the 40 record. He was going to go under 4.2.
That was Texas's number 1 guy, and their number 2 wide receiver actually ran a faster 40 than he did.
Yeah, whatever that guy ran, he ran
a 4.42 or something like that.
It was a 4.4 or something. Yeah, it's like, dude, you're not even close.
Yeah, bud, he was trying to break Xavier Worthy, who was from Texas last year, who came in. That was the guy that went to the Chiefs. Basically his 40 time at the draft is what got him drafted in the first round.
Oh gosh, yeah.
They've straight up said that Andy Reid talked about that. Like, he wasn't even a guy we were necessarily focused on, and then you can't let him slip.
Talking about Isaiah Neyor having a lot of drops, Xavier Worthy, that was the knock against him, that he dropped a lot of balls. And if you can run fast and figure out your hands.
I was going to say, you know what's easy to catch? Jet sweeps. Which was his specialty this season in the Kansas City offense. You didn't see him catch a lot of downfield stuff.
But he did in the playoffs.
At the same time, we kind of talked about this prior to the show starting, but with Neyor, the guy's a physical specimen.
Mm-hmm.
He's a freak. Measurables wise, being 6'4", being able to run a 4.4 40, that's a tremendous skill set that if he can land with somebody, there's probably a wide receivers coach or 15 out there in the NFL that's thinking to themselves, no offense, Garrett McGuire, but I think I could probably coach this guy a little bit better than the 23-year-old that was coaching him last year. Maybe I can fix his hands. Let's take a flyer on this guy.
Yeah.
Which is why when you see his measurables and you see the way he graded out I think he only did 3 of the 4, didn't he? I don't think he did
He did.
Did he do all 4?
Everything except for like the bench, or Fidone didn't bench. It was one of the guys didn't.
I can't. One of them only did 3. One of them did all 4. But he graded out so well on that RAS score. It's like, guys, we got to at least take a shot on him. Especially when you look at those 6th and 7th round guys. If they don't have a ton of need, a specific need that you're going to be able to address that late in the draft, that's where you see guys like that come off the board.
Yeah.
The physical specimen that's like, holy crap, how can you let this guy fall somewhere else? It'll be interesting to see. I wish them all the best from a standpoint of making Nebraska good. From a standpoint of me following them as fans in the NFL, Fidone and Neyor, c'est la vie.
Well,
I'll be rooting. I'll probably get a Robinson jersey regardless of where he goes, unless it's like the Jets. That's not going to happen.
I love all the Nebraska players. I wish them all well. But if you're not playing on my shitty Titans team, I don't care about you anymore. I don't know what to tell you. I hope you lose every game. I don't know. That's what fans should say.
At least lose the games that the Titans play against them, right?
I don't care. I just want the Titans to be better, and they're not going to be.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough, man. Well, hey, jump in, guys. Join us. Let us know in the comments what you think about this, what you think these draft grades mean, and where you think these guys are going to get drafted.
And this may be the most unbelievable night in Cornhusker football history.